Hi, everyone. Welcome to Clutch Entertainment today. And today we're going to be talking about dealing with rude customers at a workplace or a customer service role and not taking it personally. There's a number of things that over the years, we have people yelling at us. We have people who treat us bad when we're trying to help them. They treat us like we don't know what we're doing. They they just don't know how to properly express themselves, or they are incorrectly processing how they're supposed to present their question or problem. So I'm going to get into some things today. I'm going to talk about what's actually happening, what's a way to stay professional, some ways to separate the person from the problem, how to avoid like your personal traps and how to stay protected, and then how to detach yourself from the situation. So, first off, we're talking about what is actually happening here. So, usually, rude customer behavior is coming from a few things. It's coming from frustration from what's going on with a product or service. It's something that we're trying to get done for us and it's just not getting done the way we want it to be, or we're impatient with it. It could be stress from something else that's coming out this way, and making it feel like, oh, this is my problem, but I'm just going to blame it on you. Another thing could be like feeling ignored or unheard. You don't want to feel unheard, as a person. Nobody does. And then also, unrealistic expectations from the customer. And you have to remind yourself they are just reacting to a situation and not necessarily to you as a person. It's not necessarily targeted towards you. It's more so targeted towards another another factor in their lives. It's something that's putting something onto them that they have to press and go for it. So the next thing is, staying professional in the moment. This is what you can do. Keep your voice calm and steady. Acknowledge their frustration. Give them something along the lines of, I understand you're upset. This is our company's policy. This is what we need to do. If you'd like, you can speak to a manager. Put it on somebody else if you can't handle the stress of it. That way you can protect yourself from that additional stress and you can get away from it a little bit. And then also focus on solutions and steps. Focus on experiences that in the past have helped other customers and see if there's a way to help this customer. You don't want to match their attitude, make them argue who is right and wrong, get into like a power struggle. And then also, you don't want to take any insults or anything they're angry about personally. That can really hurt you. It can make you feel bad, especially time after work. You can come home and you just feel crappy because you had people treating you bad all day, and you don't want that. Um, so, another thing you can do is, separate the person from the problem. Instead of thinking this customer really hates me, I'm not even doing anything wrong and he's targeting me, or she's targeting me. You could think something of like, this customer is upset with a problem and I'm the person they're talking to. So you want to separate yourself from their issue. You want to tell yourself, I'm not the issue, their problem is the issue, and they're just upset about that problem. Use this mental shift in your mind with this mantra to help get the focus off of yourself, because you never want to take anything personally. Taking things personally affects you a lot, like I was saying before. Use a simple, response framework when you're talking to somebody. Listen to them, then acknowledge what they're saying and solve what their issue is. You don't want to just jump into like what you're going to say next. Just be sure to listen. Listening is like one of the biggest things in life when we communicate with others. And I know from my own personal experience, if I don't listen to something, I can't properly give the best answer possible. So being able to listen to somebody, being able to acknowledge what someone's feeling or doing, and sometimes not even talking at all, just letting them voice their frustration can really help. Um, as we interact with different people in our lives, that's what some people need. They just need to be heard. And explaining the situation not necessarily always helps. Just wait till they finish complete what they're doing. You could just say something along the lines, I understand you're frustrated. These are some things that we can do. Another thing, know your boundaries. We're all people that need specific help with certain things. And when somebody's pushing the boundary over you and they're treating you bad, you should really point that out to a manager. You should point that out to someone close to you. Keep it to yourself when you're talking to the person. I would say more along the lines of being like, hey, I can get you to a manager, like redirecting, like I was talking about before, saying, is there anything else I could help you with? Just do the best thing you can do as far as that situation. If a customer starts becoming threatening, harassing, discriminatory, like really abusive, then definitely get a manager right away and explain to the manager what is going on. That's what your manager and leadership is for. They're there to help you get through these situations, to help you get through the stress that you're going through, and that's what they're hired to do. In their job descriptions, a manager is supposed to deal with customers or supposed to deal with customer complaints just as much as you are taking in the information. You're the initial contact. Remember that. As the initial contact, you have to take in the information, then you have to pass it along to the escalated support that can help that person with that issue. But be sure to follow your company policy, check with your HR manager or check with your regular manager to see what you can do in those situations. I would say another thing, avoid common mental traps. Don't assume that I ruined their day. I'm a terrible person if I don't solve their issue. Everyone thinks I'm terrible at my job. This means I'm a failure. One rude interaction says very little about someone's character and someone's competence about a situation. If you just go through a whole day and you have one person that's really mad or upset, and that's the only interaction you had that's bad, and then you go through like a whole week or a whole month or even a year without someone else, it doesn't define you, your one action, that you're trying to help someone and they get upset. Just put it past you, detach yourself from it, and make sure that you're telling yourself, I can get help if I need help. I can get a manager if I need help. I can give this. Don't feel like you're a burden inside. If you feel like you're a burden inside, that's just hurting you in the long run. And you don't need that. You don't need to be a burden. So the next thing, develop an after interaction routine, what you usually do. Take a mental reset, say a prayer, go in the other room, go refresh yourself, throw some cold water on your face. Tell your manager, hey, I just need a 5 minute break to, cool off from this situation because I'm just overwhelmed from it. There's a number of different things you can do to help yourself, and just put yourself in a situation where you can have that little break to reflect and to take a little time for yourself and get back to, full capacity for work. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're overly stressed, you're overly taking all this action, and you're just overwhelmed mentally. And that can give you headaches, it can give you anxiety, it can give you depression, it can make you feel really upset and make yourself feel bad. But don't take it personally. Give yourself a mental reset and have yourself go away for a second. You can move on to another task also. If you have another task you can do, move on to another task instead of replaying this interaction repeatedly in your mind. I would say the next thing too is, find a way to be detached from this situation. Give yourself a mindset along the lines of, hey, my job is to provide good service, not to control what other people think or feel. Because overall, we cannot control other people. We cannot make people do things. We cannot have people feel certain things because we want them to feel. Feelings come naturally to a person. And when a person is having a bad day, they're having a situation where they're just treating you bad, it's something to do with, like I said before, what's going on in their lives. Are they stressed out? Can they do a certain thing? Are they not being able to get a situation completed or a task completed? There's a million different things that can be happening. Even they could have a death in the family and they're just stressed out and they're trying to get something done just to be productive. So don't take things personally. Put yourself in their shoes, and if they become threatening, harassing, discriminatory, abusive, you know, that is not fair to you. That's not good. I'm saying get help for that management position. Tell the manager about it, and then they can even press charges or something worse if they're being really bad to you, if they're being really horrible to you. But if they're just saying things to you, they're just really mad and angry, and it seems like they're targeting you. A lot of times they're not targeting you. They're targeting what they want. So when you're the first in line, they're gonna go for you because you're the first gatekeeper per se compared to the overall head honcho, the boss in the company. So make sure you're being respectful, you're being helpful, follow your company policy, and remember, you can't guarantee every customer is going to be happy. That's just not how it works. You can't do that. And you know, remember the big picture. Like I said, you can't make everyone happy. It's just something that they have to deal with themselves. They have to put themselves in a better situation. And who knows? Sometimes it's a customer mistake, sometimes it's a company mistake. There's a way to get it resolved without taking it personally and separate yourself from the work situation. When you go home after work, don't think about work. Think about, oh, I'm home now. I can live in the present. I can watch my favorite TV show. I can read a book. I can go outside and go for a walk. I can play catch. I can read something that's important to me on my phone, like maybe something that your family member sent you, or maybe something like a meme somebody sent you, or maybe you can enjoy a nice dinner time. There's so many different things to get us out of this situation and put yourself in that situation. But remember, always, the customer is not always right, but it doesn't have to affect you, okay? It doesn't have to make you have a horrible day. Yes, the saying is customer is always right, but sometimes they're wrong. Everyone is wrong in their lives at some point, but you don't have to blow it up in their face if they're wrong. You just got to get a manager involved and straighten it out the way it should be. So hopefully you got something out of this podcast today. I just wanted to give an overall overview of, dealing with customers and how to not take things personally. And me personally, I've dealt with my number of fair share of people in my life, and it's a lot of difficult moments when people get angry. Sometimes after the fact, when somebody gets angry, you laugh at it, like not laugh at them, but you laugh in the background, like when you get some time to settle and process the information you laugh about. Sometimes it really hurts you, and you're hurt emotionally. But just remember, three things. The first thing is, it's just a job, it's just work, and they're just dealing with things the way they're dealing with things. The second thing is, you have a family. A lot of times you have someone you can count on. Talk to a friend, family member about the situation, be heard. And also, the third thing is, God has your back always. So if you're ever in a situation where you're feeling really bad, just say some prayers and the Lord will help you get through anything. So hopefully this podcast was good today. Hopefully you got something out of dealing with angry customers and how to deal with it the best way you can, and some ways to not take it personally. So if you have any comments or questions, put in the comment section below. And if you could like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell below, that would be great. So thank you for watching Clutch Entertainment today, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.